in moments of danger, during the deepest fear. When the world suddenly collapses beneath our feet, humans sometimes say things they don't plan to say. Some call it instinct. Some call it reflex. Others call it faith and conscious faith. Around the world, there are countless accounts of atheists, people who reject the existence of God. Help me. Help me. Why does this happen? Is it cultural conditioning? Is it fear, a hidden form of belief? Or is it something far older, woven into human evolution? Tonight, we explore the fascinating reasons, psychological, cultural, biological, emotional, and philosophical, behind why atheists sometimes call upon God when they are in trouble. This is Crisis and the Human Mind. Why even non-believers call upon God. Before exploring the deeper explanations, we need to understand one fundamental truth about human nature. Fear changes the brain. When confronted with danger, a car crash, a sudden fall, a life-threatening event, the amygdala takes over. This ancient part of our brain triggers the fight-flight response. In those intense seconds, higher reasoning shuts down. Language becomes primitive. Instinct overrides ideology. Even the most rational people may find themselves shouting, "God," or "Help me." This reaction is not theological, it's neurological. The brain does not think in terms of belief during fear. It thinks in terms of survival. This is the foundation of everything we'll explore tonight. Childhood shapes adult reactions more than most people realize. Even if someone stops believing in God as a teenager or adult, the emotional language learned in childhood often stays with them for life. Imagine a child scared of the dark. A parent whispers, "It's okay, sweetheart. God is watching over you." That phrase becomes encoded in the emotional memory of comfort. Years later, even a confident adult who identifies as an atheist might whisper the same words in a moment of deep fear, out of belief, but from emotional memory. Neuroscientists call this emotive recall language. Words associated with safety or comfort in childhood often resurface when we're vulnerable. So when an atheist calls upon God in crisis, it might not be belief, but the reemergence of a comforting memory buried long ago. Humans hate feeling powerless. We like to believe we are in control of our lives. But when something happens that we can't control, an accident, a failing plane, a medical emergency, the illusion of control collapses. Psychologists call this learned helplessness or acute helplessness. During these moments, we seek something beyond ourselves. We look for an anchor. We reach for hope. We call out to anything that feels larger than our fear. For religious people, this means calling out to God. But remarkably, even atheists can feel that same emotional pull. This does not necessarily mean they believe. It may simply mean their brain is searching for the quickest possible source of comfort, even if that comfort is symbolic, even if that comfort is something they intellectually reject. Emotion does not ask permission from logic. Some researchers argue that humans evolved a natural inclination to believe in higher powers. In early human societies, belief systems served key survival functions. Unified tribes reduced fear, encouraged moral behavior, provided explanations for the unknown, strengthened community cooperation. Groups with shared spiritual beliefs often survived better than those without. Because of this, some evolutionary psychologists suggest that humans may have developed a form of belief instinct. The instinct does not necessarily refer to God specifically, but to the idea of something greater, protective, and watching over us. Thus, when danger threatens, humans instinctively reach for this ancient mental concept even if they consciously reject religion. To an atheist, calling "Oh God" might feel like a meaningless cry. But to the evolutionary mind, it may be the activation of a survival mechanism thousands of years old. In a crisis, the brain does something fascinating. It temporarily disables the analytical part of the mind. The prefrontal cortex, the center of reasoning, logic, and planning, goes offline. The amygdala and limbic system take over. These are the emotional and instinctive parts of the brain. This shutdown is why people forget phone numbers during panic. People scream before understanding the danger. People make impulsive decisions during fear, and yes, people may call out to God even if they don't believe. It's not a theological contradiction. It's a neurological one. A brain that relies on logic during ordinary life may abandon logic entirely during crisis. Thus, atheists calling upon God may simply be victims of instinctive fear responses. There is another reason humans invoke God during crisis: the social function of prayer language. In human history, calling upon God was often a public cry for help. It signaled distress to the community. It told others, "I'm afraid. I need support. Help me in this way." Invoking a deity became a highly effective social tool for survival. Even today, saying "Oh God" in an emergency may not be directed toward the heavens, but toward the people nearby. It may be a call for assistance, empathy, attention, communal reassurance. Some atheists who have analyzed this behavior say, "I wasn't calling to God. I was calling to the world." The phrase, "God help me," becomes a socially encoded cry for rescue. Now we enter more sensitive territory. Some philosophers argue that humans possess a subconscious belief in something greater, which surfaces only during emotional vulnerability. They claim crisis strips away intellectual defenses. Instinct reveals what lies beneath. Calling upon God may express an unconscious belief This view is common among theologians and spiritual philosophers who argue no one is truly an atheist in moments of absolute fear, but modern atheists strongly reject this interpretation. Many insist the cry is metaphorical, habitual, linguistic, symbolic, emotional, not spiritual. This debate is centuries old and remains unresolved. Is the cry a crack in disbelief, or just a crack in human composure? The documentary leaves that question open. Neuroscientists studying neurotheology, the biology of religious experience, have discovered something striking. The brain contains circuits specifically associated with awe, transcendence, connection, surrender, meaning when stimulated. These circuits can produce feelings interpreted as divine presence, spiritual connection, emotional transcendence. Even individuals who reject religion may still have these circuits. They are universal, not dependent on belief. So, when an atheist cries out to God during crisis, neuroscientists argue it may be the brain activating its transcendence circuitry, even without conscious belief. Spirituality, at least in the biological sense, may be a built-in human capacity. Across interviews, forums, and personal reflections, countless atheists reveal similar stories. A man in a near accident said, "I shouted, 'Oh God,' before I even realized what I was saying." A woman facing medical fear confessed, "I knew I didn't believe, but I still begged for something to save me." A soldier, injured in combat, described, "I called out to God, even though I'm a lifelong atheist. It wasn't believable. It was fear." These stories highlight a key truth. Fear makes humans reach beyond themselves, even if what they reach for is not something they consciously believe in. Another atheist summarized it perfectly. "In crisis, I don't believe in God, but I believe in hoping." And hoping uses the language of prayer. Many religious people interpret all of this differently. To them, when an atheist calls upon God in fear, it is seen as proof that belief is innate evidence the soul recognizes its creator. A moment of spiritual clarity, the heart speaking when the mind is silent. They argue, no one calls for something that doesn't exist. Not in the deepest moment of fear, but atheists counter. "I wasn't calling to God, I was calling to hope." Both interpretations reveal something powerful about the human search for meaning. When atheists call upon God in trouble, it does not necessarily mean they believe. It means language is powerful. Fear transforms the mind. Emotion overrides logic. Cultural patterns run deep. Evolution shapes how we react. Humans crave hope during danger. It means that humans, even non-believers, possess layers of instinct that operate beneath conscious belief. It means this is not about proving or disproving God. It's about understanding ourselves. In the end, the question is not whether atheists secretly believe in God. The real question is this: why do humans reach for something greater when they feel most helpless? The answer lies in centuries of evolution, culture, psychology, and emotion. When atheists cry out to God, it is not always belief. It is the mind reaching upward, toward hope, toward survival, toward anything that gives comfort. In a moment when the world feels like it's falling apart, we are complex beings, living between reason and instinct, logic and fear. And sometimes, in the most fragile moments of our lives, the ancient language of hope returns to our lips. Whether you call it instinct, reflex, memory, or faith, it tells a story about the human heart. A story that continues today in every culture, in every crisis, in every whispered prayer, even from those who do not believe. This has been Crisis and the Human Mind: Why Even Non-Believers Call Upon God. Thank you for watching.